registered and couldn't attend. There we go. But weather gray and cloudy too for you. So Ashraf, if you want to let us know what your weather is, I don't know why, but every webinar I start, I always want to know the weather. Maybe because I'm hoping someone have it better than we do. So but we'll get going here. So I'm Alicia Markey. I'm the recruiter for our programs for systems engineering design, specifically that we're talking about today. Our alum is Kruthi, and I'm going to let her introduce herself right now and kind of take over.
Okay, so hi everyone who's going to be watching this, and hi for the ones who are coming here. So, I was a former systems engineering and design student from Michigan, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor specifically. So, I graduated in, I think, 21. I started in 2019, where I also did another grad program. So right now I'm here working at Intel Corporation. I mean, Intel Foundry, formerly was known as Intel Corporation. If people are following the news, you would know it. So I work in the semiconductor process fabrication where we make chips. So I have been involved with Intel for 3 years now, almost. And I would say pretty much what systems engineering has taught me is how do I handle a complex manufacturing unit with so many people, millions of people working, so many teams, so many specializations. How does it all fit together and how my role would pan out to it? So I would say like my background in systems engineering helped me focus and like cater to those people, the needs, how to clearly define things before we actually get into the solving part of like these complex issues. And yeah, so my other degree was in chemical engineering, which of course was more like a specialization for me in order to get into an industry like pharmaceuticals or like semiconductor processing. So I would say it was a perfect blend of both degrees that what I needed to in order to like get a job or like the current work that I'm doing right now. So I'd be happy to go over more questions about my job or how that fits well with my degree, or just generally about the program and about the university in general, etc. So yeah, feel free to ask me anything you have.
Thank you, Kruthi. Yeah, so this is where we're just going to open up and see if you have any specific questions. So feel free to unmute and ask the specific questions that you have about, like Kruthi said, like her specific kind of career path, how she found it, or what led her to choose kind of U of M or this degree. You can also, if you want, you can put it in the chat and ask those questions. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a minute, and then we'll just break and see what questions we have. And then while we're waiting, I'm also going to pull up. I have some questions for Kruthi while
Sure.
we wait. So feel free, though, to drop those questions in the chat. So what made you, Kruthi, specifically choose like this program at U of M? Because I know there's a whole bunch of, different programs at U of M and College of Engineering. So why specifically systems engineering and design?
So right after my undergraduation, which was again specialized in chemical engineering, we learned about the science behind what an industry would do using chemical engineers. We had all these very niche science fields, like just math and heavy science. But I always wondered how would these things fit together? Like you need to think about how you're interacting. It's not like we're going to go and do calculus even in an industry, right? So I never got that kind of an exposure. So I was trying to look for a domain where I could actually be part of, something that goes behind the planning, not just doing like the science part of it. So when I researched a little bit more, I did want to shift my focus where I could be like in the management side and also like, get specific um, details about not just about chemical engineering, about others who's going to be working in a company or in a corporate world, how all of the engineering just fits together. So when I researched about it, this program, like I heard something systems engineering existed, systems thinking, system design thinking, researched a few colleges that were like giving those like admissions. And then I found Michigan to be the most suitable time and frame. And even the course curriculum like was just really good, not just generically, you can also specialize. And the way, there's like so much of resources and facilities that can help you like build what you want to learn exactly. So yeah, that was my main motivation going back 6 years ago when I picked up this course.
I know, can't believe it's been that long. That actually is a great point to bring up kind of an overview of systems engineering design. So the areas of excellence, kind of like Kruthi was saying there, we have design engineering, engineering management, lean and agile engineering, systems engineering and manufacturing areas, automotive and energy system areas as well. And the career outlooks are in requirements management, test and evaluation, systems integration, engineering management, lifecycle design, systems engineering, or safety engineering, sorry, supplier management, process engineering. These are just some of the career outlooks. Obviously, not all of them are listed there because it'd be slides and slides, but just to give you examples of what some of our alums have gone into. Oh, we have a question here is why have you not chose IT?
So IT as in like information technology related, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. Oh,
See if you can clear. Let's see if Charles will clarify.
or okay, maybe I can assume that it's information technology.
Let's go with that while we're waiting for the clarification.
Yeah, so my background was in chemical engineering. Like I said, I always wanted to remain in the manufacturing sector. So to be more specific, I was really interested in food technology, like food manufacturing, or like how these big food consumer industry would just like everyday things, basically about everyday things. So my background was in chemical engineering. So I wanted to choose a degree where I could still focus on chemical engineering and I would get like an overview perspective of what's happening out there in a consumer product or in generally speaking in manufacturing. So IT was like a different sector for me. But when I was like part of SED, I mean systems engineering coursework when I was a student, I met people from different domains. There were people like designing courses. So that was the thing. So you meet people from IT, you meet people from aerospace, you meet people from nuclear engineering, you just meet people from even the most random engineering things you can find, and they will get a platform and you could discuss with them. Like, so I was interested in learning more about like machine learning as well, data science, which I feel like the coursework enabled me to pick courses even from like a different department, like taking data science, and I did get some exposure on learning Python. So yeah, my background was in IT, so I just did not choose IT because of that, if that makes sense.
Kruthi, that's a great point bringing up the curriculum. So the curriculum is really kind of, I always say, choose your own adventure. So
Mhm.
there are core required courses for our program, like any program, but then there are courses past that that you choose to take. So and those range from not just systems engineering design courses. That's all across the University of Michigan and all across the College of Engineering. So it's really harnessing in and honing in on your specific areas of interest. So if you want to do more of like the IT courses in that area, you would take courses from those specific departments and really kind of take those curated career pathways courses for that then. So it's really looking to make sure that you're getting what you want out of the degree. So the curriculum is very tailored and customized to each student. So there are some sample plans of study for students to like look at, but it really is meant to be what you want to get out of the program itself. So hopefully that helps answer that question. And the program itself is a 30 credit total program. Right. I have another question while we're waiting for some more to come in. All right. Do you have, or do you remember? I know it's 6 years, but do you have a favorite class that you remember?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can never forget. Like, so I would say like after I took the class when and I also TA'd for it. Oops, sorry, I just ended up opening something. Sorry. I would say the systems architecture was my favorite class, and also Professor Bodley's requirements and verification class. Two of my favorite. These were the generic core courses that we were supposed to take. I like them specifically because I ended up like TAing for both of them. I ended up being the GSI for them, and I feel like I ended up learning so much more than what I was as a student. And pretty much what I've been using day to day in my life is what was in that course. Like, so now I can go back and relate to it. I was like, oh my God, that makes a lot of sense. So I would say those two were really good. The professors were really amazing. So yeah, that was those were my two favorite courses.
It's nice to see how a class actually like can fit into your real world work experience.
Experience, yeah.
Yep, that's great. That's perfect. What advice would you give a new student starting the program?
Um, I would say that explore as much as you can, research on the courses because you have a lot of time. You have a lot of courses that you can pick from. So just really, really make use of how you want to design your curriculum. I know capstone project, most of them would be coming in from industry itself, so they would just focus on that. And if you have something in your industry or at your work where you'd want to pick up some skills. Like now AI is booming, like machine learning is like a main thing. So you can actually find courses in Michigan all across, like Alicia mentioned, like all across College of Engineering, Design School, Ross, everything that you feel like you can. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
You can,
I just want to share the curriculum because
oh,
you were
okay.
just talking about that. So I thought it was a perfect time to show that. So sorry to interrupt you. I just thought it
Yeah,
was
no, this is
perfect to go with what you were saying.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. Yeah. So you could just research. Like I said, just talk to more people, research on the whole university website on all the courses. And some of them are really, really, what I'd say, like really, really in demand. Like the data science course that I took, the machine learning, it was a 400 class student. And you need to be really soon, like as soon as it opens, you need to register in for the courses. So I would say like be really proactive in like registering for courses that you really want. And yeah, that's probably one of the first few advice I would give because I kind of overlooked that when I came in, and so I ended up missing a few good classes that I always wanted to take.
Yep. That's a great comment, Kruthi. So the career pathways and the courses like we're talking about here. So the curriculum is laid out into these four buckets. So there's the integrative science piece, career pathways, program core, and immersive practice, like Kruthi brought up. So the immersive practice is also called your capstone course, and that's usually taken at the end of your program. And it's required for all of our programs. And this is where you get to really showcase what you've learned throughout the program and see it come to kind of fruition and get to put it to use, usually on a research project or most of the time at an internship. So if you are working full time, you can do it at your place of employment. We're not going to make you find like another job to do. But if you aren't, you would do it at an internship. And we usually have our students go out and try to find those opportunities themselves first. But if you can't find a capstone project on your own, we have a capstone coordinator, one of our faculty members, Nicole Friedberg, who will help you find a capstone opportunity. But that's a great way to network and kind of build those relationships with recruiters and put everything to use. So that's usually at the end of your program. But all of these kind of other buckets, the integrative science piece, that's where you kind of get to have these required beginning courses to make sure that you have that deep core foundational knowledge with the program core too. And then the career pathways we touched on where you get to have those courses that are from curated lists from our industry experts and alum of what the industry is looking to have our students know. So when you're looking through, as Kruthi said, all these kind of course options, we've bucketed them out to specific areas that you as a student may be interested in. So global engineering leadership, innovation entrepreneurship, integrative thinking, and many more that you all can go and sort through. But these are just courses that we have here as options. This is obviously, again, not all of the course options because you can also petition 1 to 2 courses that aren't listed here to take and be added into your specific plan of study. So as long as you show why those courses would fit to your specific plan, they'll be reviewed by the program review committee with the program director. And then if it makes sense, they'll be added into your plan of study. So this is just a great resource to use to help you create your plan of study. And as Kruthi said, it's really key to be on top of those courses and working closely with your graduate coordinator to make sure you know when those courses are offered, because some courses are only offered in specific semesters too. So really making sure that you're not like going to miss when a specific course is offered. So, perfect point. All right. I have another question for you here, Kruthi. Um, all right. Would you recommend, you can tell me the truth here, would you recommend this program to others?
Well, like for example, others as in, oh, like everybody else who's joining in, not like specific.
Just
Yeah,
any prospective students, would you recommend this program?
I definitely would. So I did not initially come from an experience with in the corporate world. Like I've seen 90% of my classmates or the people from the program were either with just from industry. So they've had industry experience or they're ongoing like industry full-time workers who are also like part-time students. Most of them were there and they have given reviews as being a student and when I was the instructor. I actually learned a lot from them. And they were actually telling me that, hey, we actually use this at work. So, I know you're not coming with inexperience. So this is literally typically what we do at work. Since we have this particular program has instructors from industry itself, it makes it much more nicer to get like a first person perspective as opposed to traditional classes which you've been taking from academia professors who are just into academic and who's just been in academia their whole life. So the curriculum is really good if you're actually looking forward to progress at work, if you want to just move on and then, incorporate new things into your work that, could be a little bit slightly deviating from what your other coworker or the teammates do. So yes, whether you're coming with without experience, I would say um, I came without experience, and I feel like the university itself had so many opportunities for me to pick. So I ended up doing a project with mechanical engineering department, and that was like a very, I would say like a very fruitful experience because that was my very first exposure to like a cross-functional team. I got to meet a lot of people. I got to understand like how the world works differently there. So there you go, like capstone was there, everything was there, like you even get an opportunity to learn things. So it was more like so open-ended that I ended up making as much benefit I could.
I love hearing that. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. All right, just want to highlight some of the upcoming application deadlines since the apps are open for our spring summer semester, which is online only, and our fall semester. So, spring summer, the early decision deadline is fast approaching at February 15th. The regular admissions deadline is March 15th, and the last deadline is April 15th, and that's all for spring summer semester. The fall deadlines, we are in the extended consideration, so the last deadline is there for fall. The international on campus deadline is March 15th, and that's the last deadline for international students looking to be on campus. And then August 15th is for all other applicants. So that's for international students who are looking to be online and for domestic students looking to be online or on campus. So please keep these deadlines, kind of top of mind. I always recommend apply as soon as you're ready. Don't wait for those deadlines since the apps are open because you might forget, like, where did I put my personal statement or different things like that. And speaking of what you need to have, you will need to have your application fee. You will also need to have a 3.0 minimum GPA. Our average GPA is a 3.5. Three letters of recommendation. Now, these letters of rec can be from faculty members, professors, or if you are working and aren't really in contact with faculty, don't worry. They can come from supervisors or managers. The GRE is not required, but if you're worried about being at that minimum 3.0 GPA, we do recommend taking the GRE, but it's not required. Your resume and curriculum vitae, your personal and academic statement of purpose, those are each 500 words. Try to keep it to the 500 word limit because they're going to read everything that you submit. So keep it to the 500 words. Your official transcripts, and then if you are an international student, the English proficiency exams as well. I also want to provide my contact information. So if there are any other questions that come up after this webinar for myself or Kruthi, just send me an email and then I'll try to answer it. Or if not, I'll send it up to Kruthi so that she can help answer too. And I just want to thank you all so much for joining us. And as always, go blue.
Go blue.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.